beat on that. That's cool.
I wish I had a bow tie. Go out of place.
I wear ties very infrequently. PT Biz at CSM. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank
welcome
you.
to the live stream. You are officially my last. I'm done.
Yeah.
After you guys, I'm cooked. So you guys are the bottom of the ninth inning.
Cook chat.
Get the best of you.
What are you?
Saved it for the last
What are you
one.
doing? What are you not doing here? You're speaking. You're signing books. Someone showed. They're like, I got a book signed by this guy. And I was like, I know that guy.
That's pretty cool of them to do that, by the way. So shout out to APTA for that was their idea. They were like, hey, what if we get a bunch of your books? And I was like, yeah, we could do that. I don't know if anybody wants one. We'll see. But we gave every single one of them out. We had some fantastic conversations with people, and that was a lot of fun. But shout out to them for that idea. So yeah, we gave some books out. We did a little talk on starting a clinic in a gym. Talked to a bunch of people about that business model. I just talked to Drew Contreras, about some of the changes we're seeing and just sort of the profession and all that. And then tomorrow, I have a presentation on sort of where Cash PT has come over the last decade and where I think it's going to go. And then I got a panel with our good friend Megan Brown and Sue Falsone, and then we do talking about clinics in a gym one more time, and then we're, I guess, done. Well, we'll take it back. We'll grab drinks afterward with some folks, and so our week is pretty busy. Probably not as busy as yours. You're probably doing a lot more.
Listen, I stand still and stand next to smart people. It's not a hard. It's a great job, right?
Yeah.
You look smart. I look smart by default because I'm standing next to smart people.
Yeah.
I like questions. What are the questions that come up the most after someone reads the book, hears you talk? Because that means there were things that are wondering. Or I should say, let's do the questions before, because after they hear you talk, most likely you're going to answer some of those. So what are the questions that people are they end of the diving board questions? Like, I want to do this, but I'm getting ready. Like, what are some of the questions people are always firing at you?
I think they are really hesitant to charge money for PT.
Hold on a second. That should be scary. Why would you be hesitant to charge money? Like this breaks my heart. That's how you buy food and keep a roof over your family's house. And this is how you deliver value, right?
Yeah,
but
no, we tell them $200 an hour is really the norm for Cash PT right now, and they just think we're absolutely crazy. They're like, what are you talking about? How am I ever going to do this? How does this even make sense for me? I think they all want to do it clinically. They love the idea of it, but they're not sometimes willing to take that next step to learn how to market and learn how to sell.
Well, even before that, it's believing you're worth $200 an hour.
Yeah,
that's true.
The mindset is tough. In fact, I was just talking to Drew about that. I think they asked me, they said, hey, what's the number one barrier for people having success in a cash-based clinic? I think this probably applies to any business, but if you don't think you're worth what you're charging people, like how are they supposed to feel you're worth it? And then how are your staff members supposed to feel that or learn that as well? And the reality is we help people with some like really amazing things. We perform these little miracles all the time, but what we get is like, this is what insurance says that we're worth. And, or
you start believing it.
Or maybe you come from a setting where, you grew up without a lot of money, and money is this scarce thing that you never had enough of, and they put it on this pedestal and they don't realize it's just like, it's a transference of trust with somebody else. It's how they store value and they give to somebody else for something they have value in. That's all it is, man. And you can always make more of it. And as soon as they get comfortable with that, then all of a sudden they can have these natural conversations about what people need to pay and why. And you're right, it's because we have mortgages and we have student loans and we have groceries you need to buy. This just happens to be what we do to generate that. Other people do other things, right? It's just, we would do it for free if we could. I think that's the hard part for our profession is we get so much personal satisfaction from it that in some ways it's a negative in some ways.
Somebody said it and I stole it. It's they said it's the Peace Corps gene. It's like, well, I'll just do it for free. And then we have no problem yelling and complaining about how an insurance company should pay us more.
Right.
It's probably not going to happen anytime soon.
Look at the trend.
What does the last 5 years look like? What does the last 25 years look like?
You know what? I see the change is going to happen next year.
Probably next year.
Next year they're going to double
That's
what they
our
pay
year,
us.
guys.
That's our
100%. 2027. It's us.
I always say, like, hey, man, I'm all for the people doing advocacy. It's not my jam, but I'm glad someone's doing it. Yeah. Awesome.
True.
Is it going to make change? I don't know, man. That's not my jam. But what are the things that are within your control? Maybe is that what's scary about people going into business for themselves is if you've been an employee for a long time, your job is show up and do. And if you're a business owner, in the beginning, you start with nothing but you. And that's scary just saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people who join our clinical rainmaker program, which is basically people who are trying to start and scale. And that first step, side hustle, okay, I got 4 or 5 patients on the side. I got my full-time job. And we say, hey, quit your job, which I'm proud to say I've at least helped 50 to 60 PTs quit their job and start a cash clinic, which is amazing. But it's so scary for them. It feels so visceral.
Yes.
You know,
I'm feeling it now hearing you say it.
yeah, it's stability, right? We think it's stable. I talked to this just recently. COVID was one of the best years for PT biz.
Yeah.
You know why? Because people realized they can get furloughed. It's not as stable as they thought.
Right.
No
Yep.
safety. Yeah.
A full-time 40-hour job is not.
There
it's
is
never, man.
Yeah,
It's
there is no
never.
safety,
No.
ultimately. And I always tell people, you can always go back. The great part about being a PT is like, guess what? This doesn't work out. You can go be a home health PT.
Your backup plan is pretty solid.
Pretty
Great.
awesome. Yep.
No, it's true. And I think you're right. I was talking to somebody about the same thing that started a clinic, has been very successful, and he got let go during COVID. And he said, there's no way that I would have started a clinic if I hadn't been furloughed, right? And he just tested it out and see how it went, and it went really, really well. So that forced a lot of people into, taking a chance on themselves. And I think that if it wasn't for that, there'd be a lot fewer cash clinics, I think. And now they don't have that. They maybe they don't remember it, or maybe they're newer to the profession and they didn't go through that. So this safety blanket, we can always have a job for sure. And in some ways, I think that is a negative from you taking a chance on yourself, because that paycheck paralysis, that security blanket, it stops a lot of people.
There's the movie where George Clooney's job is to fire people up in the air.
Oh,
See
yeah,
that?
that's a great movie.
And he's talking to the guy. Oh God, what's his name? I forget his name. The guy from the Drummer movie, whatever. And he's firing the guy. And he goes, How much did they pay you to quit on your dream? And he goes, What do you mean? He's like, I was looking at your resume, and you studied French cuisine in college. And he's like, then you got your job at this insurance company because it was safe. And he goes, how much did they pay to give up your dream? And he's like, $27,500 a year. And he's like, that's 25 years ago. And he goes, I'm firing you today. But he's like, go work in a kitchen. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
That's actually I remember that scene as well. And, because he's mad, right? He's like, how do you do this? You come in here and fire people. And he's like, what can you do after that? And I think for a lot of people, they don't think of it because all they're trying to do is basically just, make enough money to go to the next month, or for the vacation they want to go on over the summer, or whatever it is. And they sort of just deal with the things they don't like, which is fine, because you have to be an adult, and sometimes you have to do things you don't like to do. But if you feel compelled to do your own thing, or maybe it makes more sense for you to be able to work with people the way that you want and all that, like, it's worth exploring, and it doesn't go away. And you don't want to be that guy that's sitting there 25 years later that you're finally let go. And it's like, you could have been doing this for so long, but like you lack the catalyst. Maybe it's the courage, or maybe, you didn't know if you were able to do it. And then sometimes things like that happen, like we talked about during COVID. And it's the best thing that could happen to certain people.
Jim Carrey said his dad was funnier than him, but took a job, I don't know, accountant, something stable, got fired anyway. And Jim Carrey was like, do the thing you love, because you could get fired at doing the thing you hate.
Yeah, that's true.
When you meet with people for your clinical Rainmaker program,
you're automatically, because we're human beings and we're sizing everybody up. What do you look for in someone that you're like, this person's, maybe is it one thing? Is it several? You're looking for a thing or some things, and you're looking for those things.
Oh, I can tell you exactly what it is.
Hit it.
So a lot of PTs, we're really good at one-on-one conversations, right? We like to be in a room. We like to see somebody. It's the people that are naturally extroverted and really good communicators.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have no issue being rejected. They'll have no issue marketing to gyms and just like getting stuff done. We're all type A. We're actually all really smart people, but the ones that are willing to break out of their shell and really take some risk, harder to find for PTs. We're very risk averse, but those people do so well. They can grow and scale very fast.
I wonder if Megan Brown has that. Do you think she has that?
I think there's like
Perfect
a caveat to this too, because I agree. Those kinds of people, like a Megan Brown, who's just like very great with people, very, willing to put herself out there, what I would consider more sort of like visionary sort of individuals, right? They're great on the start. At scale, they struggle. So at the scale phase, they're not as systems driven.
Oh.
They're not as organized. They're far less risk averse in a situation where it is very beneficial to have some risk aversion, because you're taking on more debt. You're creating jobs for other people. So if you're just winging it, and I know firsthand, like if it wasn't for my wife being somebody who is more operationally driven, I would have ruined a lot of people's jobs by just doing dumb shit and thinking, oh, it just figures out along the way. So I think the start, that kind of person kills it on the start. The person who's more systems driven, more sort of like, a little bit less risk tolerance, they do have a harder time with the start, but they tend to do better at the scale phase because they're a better boss oftentimes. maybe they aren't as influential and sort of like charismatic, but they're stable and you know what you're going to get from them, and people want to work for those people. So if that's you and you're like, oh, well, I'm not Megan Brown or whoever, like have this like really great personality and people will gravitate to them, that's okay. You can make it work. You got to get over the hump of like getting out and getting people to come in your door and sales and market. But, you know, once you get to the stage where you're scaling, you have some significant advantages.
So is the lesson there, find the, you could be the wow person, but when you hit a certain gear, it's time to shift, bring in a how person?
That happens a lot of times. There's a whole book about this called Rocket Fuel, where it's the concept of an integrator and a visionary coming together and it being a really good fit. My wife is an integrator, luckily for me, but you can also have maybe an office manager that's like that. Right. Maybe you start with somebody, and this is a partner question we get a lot. People are like, should I have a business partner? And the answer is yes and no. It depends. Do you have overlapping skill sets? No. Are you going to offset each other? Then awesome. That can be a great fit. Like Eve and I are not necessarily like, we don't have the same superpowers, right? Which
is good.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it works so well. So if you find that, then it can be a really good fit. And misery loves company. Running businesses are hard. So it is great to do it with other people, but you don't want to do it with people that are just like you. So yeah, you want to find people that are going to, support your weaknesses, not have the same weaknesses and same strengths.
It'd be a really boring set of movies if all the Avengers had the same strengths.
Yeah, dude.
It's like someone's got to smash stuff. Someone's got to have a hammer. Someone's got to be good at this.
You're right. That's
right. Great analogy.
What is something that's coming in the future, right? Paying cash is a how, not a what, right? You still need to deliver, right? Because in the bottom, it's all cash. It's just someone else paying, right? So what is something that you guys are looking for in the future that you're telling people to lean into? Are there things? Is it, I don't know if you can take 5 or 6 steps here without getting smacked in the face with AI. I put AI on my coffee this morning. Tastes great. But what are you guys are always looking for the next, right? What are the next things? My guess is they're probably basics and not AI in your everything.
I think AI is inevitable that it's going to have a strong influence on our profession. In fact, I was just talking with Drew Contreras about this, and what I think is going to be really cool to see, and we have some experience with this. We have a company called Claire that we're partners with that does documentation for providers. So listens and writes your notes for you, which is a huge time saver. Another company that's a partner company of ours, the marketing company that's built a AI, is basically administrative assistant that will follow up with your leads for you. It'll help get reviews.
Genius.
So smart, and it works really well, and it helps with the throughput of ads, and it helps with like following up with people. And these are things that your office manager hates doing, that your providers hate doing.
And they might not be good at it.
And they're not good at it. That's right. They give up. They don't follow up 7 times like they're supposed to, whatever, and it burns them out. So we can now have this like incredibly smart tool that we can train with real, conversation, real data that gets better along the way. It gets smarter as it gets more data fed, and it can remove things that cause, discomfort in the job of these other people that allows them to have better longevity and focus on the human in front of them. I think that's actually going to be a really cool thing that we see over the next few years. Now, does it turn to the Terminator situation? I don't know.
Yeah.
But definitely not in the next couple of years.
Right.
I think it'll be a good thing for physical therapy overall.
Yeah. What do you think? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about longevity and wellness. Like in the beginning, that was always something that people talked about, proactive care, maintenance.
I've been here for 10 years.
Yeah, like, we're going to do this thing. This is awesome. Or like, insurance doesn't pay for this. We shouldn't do it. Continuity and longevity in our programs with cash has been the best stabilizing thing for our business. It can be 20 to 40% of somebody's caseload. Yeah. And it's amazing for the provider and it's amazing for the business.
This profession didn't create it. It happened. But for us not to position ourselves as a deliverer of whatever, the things that you're looking for, that's a mistake, right? You should position yourself and say, I can deliver these things. Then at 5 questions in, then you bring in things like evidence-based. But if you lead with evidence-based, people are going to go, yeah, okay. But lead with the outcome. Lead with what I get. Longevity, wellness. I want those things. Yeah. If we can deliver them, why wouldn't we?
And also, it's like widening the horizon. I think for a lot of people, it's people know they're going to live longer. And there's a lot of people that are right on the cusp of retiring who are generally more healthy than their parents were, more active. They have more money. They're looking for a way to continue to be able to do the things they want to do in life with the people they want to do them with. My parents are a good example of this. My in-laws are a good example of this. They all had kids relatively young. My parents are in their mid-60s. My wife's parents are both in their early 60s. And these people they look at their health differently, and they know they're going to be around longer, and they're training and they're taking supplements and they're tracking their data. And it's just like, this is amazing, right? Yeah. And who can help them understand all this stuff? I think we fit really well there.
Yeah.
Where would someone start off with you guys? Is it the Clinical Rainmaker program? You guys have a couple routes. I know you guys have an event coming up next month.
You're coming,
I'm
right?
coming. I've been saying.
No, hang on now. This is okay because this has been a while. I've been trying to get you.
2
Yeah.
years.
Okay,
My
you have
wife's
a great
texting
time,
you.
dude.
She's like, I was like, you need to get him here. Come
Yeah.
on.
You're gonna love it.
So what's it look like? Like what's it feel like? Who's there? Who? Let me ask this question: who's it not for? Because that'll tell you who it is for.
Well, these events that we do are just for the clients that we work with. These are all business owners that have clinics. The vast majority of them are cash.
They've already started.
They've all started, yeah. So this is part of our like PT Biz Mastermind program, which is essentially like our fellowship in business. So we think of it like this fellowship program in business for clinicians. Part of it is coming together twice a year where we do on-site stuff, right? So it's like you go do your practicals in the clinical setting. We do practical work on the business side where we help you plan your business out. We help you understand like, concepts that we're trying to help you learn, like finance and things of that nature. We have guest presenters come in, but also we get to hang out and have a great time with each other. And they all are like similar backgrounds, clinicians that own businesses that are trying to like really build these mission forward businesses. So they love being around each other, which is awesome. But, people come in our ecosystem. Most people, it's either the podcast, a YouTube channel, they buy the book. They get exposed in some way, which we want you to come in through a channel that is like educational. It's free to very low cost.
No barrier.
Yeah, and it's like, are we the right people for you? Maybe not. Maybe we're complete wrong people for you. And that's totally fine too. And then from there, if people are trying to start, we have a 6-month program. Think of it like a residency. That's our residency in business that we help you get started and really figure out all the nuts and bolts of like how to replace your income and make a lateral transfer. Mastermind program is more of a fellowship. We're helping you really scale, try to grow past yourself. So like those are the two things that we really do. That's really all that we do with people. And we really lean into like constantly trying to iterate on the business model and best practices long term. So they can be in many ways an unfair advantage for business owners that are functioning in those settings.
Is there a fire walk? I'm trying to figure out what happens there.
We have something similar.
We do a
5K.
workout. Yeah, I was like,
Pretty brutal
what do we
workout.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah, people are like, is this a cult? Do we just like drown kittens? We don't do any of that. That was back in the day. We don't do that anymore. But what we do is we try to move together in the morning. It's physical movement, and for some people, it's like, go to the gym, do your thing, get up and meditate if you want, go for a walk, whatever's, you like to do. It may not be as intense as the workout that we do. And then on Thursday, we spend the whole day together doing more group-based things. And that night is when we take everybody out to dinner. And it's just this huge, gathering of everybody. It's so awesome and it's very positive. Some people, there's the ice cream at 8 o'clock and go to bed crowd. And then there's like the Megan Brown stay out to 2 a.m. and ride a bowl crowd. And you find your people, and that's cool. But and you meet just amazing folks. Some people are like best friends afterward, and we've had people who literally like were in each other's weddings and they're traveling together, and it's just, they have so much common ground to begin with. So it's our favorite thing to do. It's literally like some of my favorite days of the year.
Yep.
Well, I'm imagining it's people in different phases going through, so you can see a past version of yourself. You're like, oh yeah, I was there, or I want to be there.
Oh, 100%. You got people who are just starting solo provider by themselves, and then you got people who have multiple clinics, multiple providers, up to 9, 10, so 7 figures. And we try to pair those people together. But when they get together in those events, they're like, they're chasing. One of the best things we ever did, and Danny can speak to this because he was in the military, we have name tags, and everyone wants that next name tag. And you can see the name tag when you walk around. It's like, ooh, I want that gold one. That gold one means I have a 7-figure practice. Ooh, I want that black one. And so it's really cool, kind of competitive, but obviously in a nice way.
Yeah. It's because here's something funny. I'm getting kind of distracted because one of my professors is standing right over there in a gray jacket. I don't know the guy who's in the military uniform, but you see how he has a bunch of shit on his chest?
Yep.
He earned that stuff. You don't get that for no reason. So when we started this, we assigned color name tags based on the size of your business. And there's no way to get it besides to grow your business to a stage where you earn this name tag. And we felt that it would compel people and gamify it in some way. It is the most it's the most beneficial thing we've ever done with business owners to help them really take the next step for what they want to do. It's as simple as the name, color difference on your name tag makes all the difference in the world.
What makes it possible? Makes it visible. It's like that person sitting in front of me seems pretty normal. Like he's just a guy, just a woman. They're just regular. They can do it. Why? What is the reason I can't do it? Let's figure that out.
Agreed. And here's the other thing I think is really interesting about these. And we talked about AI a little bit. And we live in much more of a digital world now, right? And people crave this human interactions. I was talking about yesterday. I brought up the Justin Bieber Grammy performance. I don't know did you see this?
No.
Okay, so I watched the Grammys with my family, and Justin Bieber performed a song called Yukon, and he walks up on stage in his socks and underwear, shaved head, socks, underwear. He plays a guitar riff, loops it, plays a beat, loops it, and then he just stands there and sings. And the thing about it that was so impressive was, A, is just incredibly talented, but this is as raw of a human being, no AI music bullshit. This is just this guy in his freaking underwear and socks singing and making this in real time. And I think what you're going to see is with all this automation and AI changes, I think people are going to sort of push back and they're going to want more human to human engagements. And when we get together in person, that's one thing that we kind of took for granted. We're like, we want to do this to work on things, but more than anything, it's so that people can be around the right people. And I don't know how to describe the value of that. Like, it's just so hard to put a number on it, but it is so impressive. It's so helpful. And it's like, business is hard. And if you can come every 6 months, we get together and you get to recharge your battery, you get to stay in the game longer and you get to have fun with your friends just playing the same game. Yeah. And it makes it a little bit less sucky. Sometimes it sucks, you know? Yeah. And so that's a big part of why we like it so much. And I think why people are leaning into it even more now.
Yeah, those conversations, we obviously get feedback from those events all the time. And the number one piece of feedback was like, just give us more time to hang out with each other. We could literally probably just drop them into a room and just say, all right, see you later for 2 days. And they probably would just have the best conversation. Yeah, we obviously put a lot of time and intent around giving good content. Danny speaks, I speak, but ultimately they love those conversations.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you there in March. Maybe we'll do one of these.
I'm so excited for you to come, man. Oh, you should. Yeah, you would love it. And our people are just like so fun to talk to.
Well, I'm a guy where I'm like, I don't really fit, but I love hearing those things. And I like looking at it from a slightly different perspective, which is like, oh, what are the commonalities? What are the differences? What are the common themes? What are the things that are said over and over and over again? Got it.
Yeah, you'd have a ton of value, just media background, what you do and how to get the voice out. That's something that our people are very interested in trying to figure out too.
No, so you'll fit right in, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
You just, and you're a very entrepreneurial person. That's one of the reasons I enjoy chatting with you is you're very creative. You know, and you need an outlet to test those things, right? And like,
I got to figure out what mine is.
I know. I trust that you will. You know, and I think maybe you'll figure it out in Charleston when you have some conversations with people, and it's like, oh, now I have some space to think about stuff, and I'm around people that look at things differently, and whatever. You're at the beach. There's a lot of things that are just elements of it that can make it a very, very beneficial period of time for you to let things settle.
All right, your last live stream of the day, and the last thing we do on each episode is called the parting shot.
This is the parting shot. One last mic drop moment. No pressure. Just your legacy on the line.
Parting shot, Danny, you've done this before, so you'll go first.
Okay.
Whatever you want to leave with the audience. Last idea, concept, quote, doesn't matter what it is.
I'm going to go back to what I, was saying about, our profession really leaning into the human-to-human side of things. Yesterday, we had a chance to go to one of our clients' clinics. He's also one of our coaches, Ziad Dadul. He's amazing. Does a lot of post-op ACL work. And we saw him working with a collegiate basketball player who is end stage ACL. And then a lady came in, and she was in a car accident, and she had as close to a limb salvage patient as I've seen since I left the military from true blast injuries. Multiple compartment releases, almost lost her foot. 3 years in her journey, right? And she was like so just thankful to have Ziad be able to help her along the way. And, as I was watching this, now it's like these special moments of these little miracles we do with people. I thought to myself, how do you automate this? Yeah. How's a robot going to do this? Yeah. How is it like these things that people are worried about? I think as long as we really treat people with respect the way that they deserve, this human-to-human element has become so much more important, so much more valued, and I think we're in an incredible place to pivot or to really capitalize on that.
Yeah.
That's tough to follow.
Good luck following that.
Yeah, right.
There you go. Good luck.
Yeah. I love our profession. Physical therapy, more than anything, has meant so much to me through my journey, through like I had a special needs little sister. That's why I got into it. And I just want people to realize that like you are doing something absolutely special. And you need to leverage that, and you need to help as many people as possible, whether that's cash, whether that's insurance. Just realize that you're doing something amazing, and that's it.
Yeah. Put trust in that. All right, we'll do this again in March. But gentlemen, appreciate you stopping by here at CSM in the middle of chaos. Thank you for that.
Thank you.